It's the Adam Calhoun, the simple Adam Calhoun, music that I like to sing to. It's the Adam Calhoun, the simple Adam Calhoun, music that I like to sing to. Let's tap into.
You know my squad. You know my squad. I said now ain't nobody messing with my squad. You know my squad. You know my squad. I said now get these.
Subscribe Squad is another day, is another dollar, and it's time for another freaking reaction, because that is what we do. You look at me and I look at you. You look at me and I look at you. You look at me and I look at you. You look at me and I look at you. That is what we do. Now, before we go ahead and react to some more Adam Calhoun, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit the like button, sub button, bell button, because you can ring my bell. Ring my bell, ring it, ring it, ring it. That we know every single time, literally every single time I drop a new video. Not only that, but Scribe Scott, we have this goal. We are trying to get to 50K subs, so I could drop my new album. It is fire. It is on the way. Yeah, I said it. It is fire, and it's on the freaking way. And I can't wait to announce everything that's going on with it. It's like, it's gonna be legendary, big dog. It's literally going to be legendary. With that being said, big dog, big dog, big dog, big dog, big dog, big dog, big dog. Today we're gonna continue on reacting to some Adam Calhoun songs. Hopefully I can still get in the studio with him. Wishful thinking, you know what I'm saying? Wishful thinking, especially with all this going on, all this craziness going on. But look, this video is called Klonopin. And I'm just curious off of the name. I'm aware of what it is, and so I think this is gonna have some really big substance to it. So let's see what he's talking about.
Some depressing shit. I let things build up, and I don't know how to let shit go. I guess I let it go till it explodes. My mind's fucked up, I lost control. Lines get crossed like electrical. Probably something wrong with my mental. I never thought I'd let it come and get my soul. I'm too far gone, never come back home. I'm white, so you know I never had no problems. Hold up, wait. I'm white, so
I like the fact that he's tapping into something. I think this is just kind of like I think this is an unfair fallacy like that goes on, that white people don't have any problems because they're white and everybody's quote unquote rich and white, when in actuality the majority of the people who live below the poverty line and are quote unquote on food stamps are actually white. I think in America at times we make too many things a racial issue, not understanding that what separates us the most right now is actually societal issues and systematic oppression between classism, between poor, middle class, and wealthy. That is the overall, money is the equalizer when it comes to most things. Now, mind you, systematic racism does exist, meaning that there are systematic things that oppress certain people of color. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is just that because somebody's white doesn't mean that they don't have any problems. Or just because somebody's white means that they're automatically rich. I disagree with that thought. And factually speaking, it's just not true. It's a fallacy. So I like the fact that he's tapping into this.
Wait, I'm white, so you know I bet I'm the problem. Came from the bottom, came from a broke home. What the fuck's a father? Mom must have shot him. Dad didn't want him. He could do without him. Drink another bottle, smoke marijuana, take a Klonopin. You can hear a pin drop when I get pissed off. I don't wanna talk, I just wanna ball my fist up. I don't wanna calm down, I don't wanna listen. Rather throw fists and get a conviction. You know what it is, put that shit back in prison. I don't need a lecture, this shit's depressing. Me venting is probably the best thing. I'm white, so I'm white, so.
Not only that, but the opiate epidemic has hit white communities just 10 times stronger. And I find that to be just interesting, right? If we could have a conversation. I don't mean to make this thing too political, but I love thought-provoking stuff like this. But if we have a conversation, it seems as though, now mind you, they're totally not doing enough right now when it comes to this epidemic. The government, society's view, etc. But it seems like it's moving more so in the direction of we're classifying this as a medical problem or a mental health problem, or an issue that's going on with people over prescribing medications, and then what happens when their healthcare runs off, then they run to whatever drug of choice they can get their hands on, whether it's heroin or crack or whatever the situation is, right? That's like it's becoming like, okay, we need to finance, we need to do these, we need to have government structures. And so the argument becomes, right, and this is not taken away from the fact that all those things are real. I do believe that we need to approach this situation, though. Like, we approach this situation like that, like it's a mental health issue. You know what I'm saying? Let's get people mental health. Let's fix our medical systems in the sense of, you can literally have a doctor's visit, 15 minutes later, they'll just write you a prescription because they're getting kickbacks from it. All that is wrong. We need to make systematic changes to fix that. But the question that a lot of people have, and this is a fair question, is why wasn't the crack epidemic a mental health issue? Why was the crack epidemic, because it was predominantly African American people who were being affected, or I just say communities of color being affected 10 times more, was looked at as a criminal issue instead of a mental health? We need to help these people. Why are these people on crack? Why was that not the same thing? Now, mind you, society has changed, but if you look at how that affected African American communities and minority communities, and how it affects where people are now in society, you know what I'm saying? I just wish, and I'm not blaming, us. I could blame the government all day long. That's a whole nother thing. But I wish that we would have had that same approach when it came to African American people. And this goes into the thing. I mean, people don't like to talk about this, but Black Lives Matter is not saying that other lives don't matter. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not saying that. People who think that, they're feeding into the media's frenzy behind, it's a violent thing, blah 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 blah. Like, mind you, there are, in every side, there are individuals who do violent acts, like, right? But the overall message of Black Lives Matter was started because it was saying that in these situations, it seemed like Black lives didn't matter. Or in these situations, Black people were viewed as less than human. Or in these situations, they were at least viewed as different than white people or different than other races. Even if you feel like they're not being viewed as less, you could see that how the crack epidemic, right, overwhelmingly affected African Americans and minorities, especially in the criminal offense level. Like, they were criminally charged for being drug users. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not talking about the people who are selling it, all that, people who's selling crack. I mean, not even on a small scale. We're talking about large drug dealers. Of course they should go to jail. That's not what I'm saying. But users were being treated like criminals. And in this situation, when the opiate epidemic is overwhelming, not saying it's not affecting African American and minority communities, but it's overwhelmingly affected people of quote unquote white descent, it's now being viewed as a mental issue, and rightfully so. It deserves to be. But I think, if anything, we should ask ourselves the question, why weren't African Americans viewed in the same light? Why wasn't it, we need to get these people help? Why was it, we need to throw them in jail? Or they're just some crackheads? Like, why was it not viewed the same way? And you could argue it's because at that time, Black people were viewed as a substandard group or a subgenre group still. And people seem to crazily forget that we're really not that far removed from slavery. Like, we're really not that far removed from civil rights. We're really not that far removed from Jim Crow. Like, we're really, not that far removed. So they want people to get over it. But yet again, we don't tell Jewish people to get over the Holocaust. Like, I feel like that's absolutely absurd. Black people should get over slavery, being oppressed, Jim Crow, racism, everything. We should just get over it, move on. We had our Black president. Everything's equal now. But Jewish people don't have to get over the Holocaust. Like, what? Why? That's absurd. Let's view everybody in the same light, the same disposition. We should take this opiate epidemic very seriously. We should approach it as a mental health issue. And at the same time, what I'm saying, now that I'm ranting, at the same time, what I'm saying is that if there's another epidemic that comes up, right, or an issue that comes up that affects minority people, and it doesn't affect white people, and we're talking about within the same hemisphere, right? Same light. Let's approach it the same way we would approach it for all people. And this is like on topic, off topic. But let's get back to the song, because I'm sure I'm going to have more thoughts. But this is why I love his music. It's like thought-provoking music.
I'm white, so you know I never had no problems. Hold up, wait. I'm white, so you know I bet I'm the problem. Came from the bottom. They tell me use my words, be careful, watch what I say. I say fuck that shit. Oh, by the way, I'm not okay. Stuck in a cage. Let me explain what it feels like being out on stage. Whole bunch of people shouting my name, so hard to breathe, got a mountain of pain. They drive from all over to shake my hand or give me a hug. That drives me crazy that a stranger actually gives a fuck. I'm not bitching, I'm just saying this shit actually sucks. My fans act better than the people that I actually love.
That's a whole nother vibe. It's crazy how people who don't even know you will rock with you more than people that know you. Like, it's almost like a jealousy thing. I don't know what it is, an envious thing, but people that know you won't support you as much as random strangers. You will get random strangers on the internet who really rock with you and support you and believe in you. But the people that literally either live with you or live next to you and know you from the bottom like that, bro, won't rock with you. That part.
People that I actually love. Why don't I feel life? Cause I feel like if I don't take my pills, I ain't gonna feel right. Motherfuckers talk shit, I don't really feel nice. I feel like y'all scared like some field mice. Feel like I might go psycho, driving down the road with my eyes closed, dealing with a different kind of white boy, real shit, no vanilla ice though. I'm white, so I'm white, so Came from a broke home, what the fuck's a father? Mom must have shot him, dad didn't want him. He could do without him, drink another bottle, smoke marijuana, take a Klonopin.
Wow. I mean, that song was so deep in itself. If you're not familiar with Klonopin, I suggest that you get to Googling. There are, like, I think it's three main similar drugs. It's Klonopin, Xanax, and there's another one that I don't recall the name 100%. But they're typically prescribed to people who have anxiety. And here's the thing with anxiety. Now, mind you, I believe that, some people really need medicine to help with their anxiety. It's that strong that they can't, they do the behavior routes of like meditation and having skills to pick up, and that still doesn't work. So I'm not saying that, right? That medicine shouldn't exist and these medicines aren't helping certain people. But I feel like as a society, we should exhaust all of our naturally available resources before we just write somebody a prescription. Because a lot of people know what the prescription does, but people don't understand the process of getting off of the prescription. So your body, it's literally like, okay, Klonopin is the equivalent. I know this is going to sound crazy to the average person, but it's like the equivalent of prescribing somebody like heroin. That is the equivalent of Klonopin in a certain amount of doses. Now, in small doses, not taken over a long term, like your body can naturally recover. But here's the process of Klonopin. What it does is that it's pretty much what happens when you have anxiety attacks is that, how do I mute this? Sorry, I got a new Apple Watch and and I'm figuring it out. Okay, anyway, what happens is that when you have an anxiety attack, your synapses, right? Your reactors in your brain are they're confused. So with Klonopin, now mind you, I'm not a doctor, so do your own research too, but I know the gist of how it takes place because I know several other people who've experienced this. When you have Klonopin, it's telling your reactors not to react, right? It's telling it not to react. And for short doses or whatever, that's fine. But the periods of amount of term, what happens is your brain receptors have been used to not reacting and not connecting, right? So if you're going to try to get off of Klonopin, like cold turkey, you would probably die. There's a lot of people, and that sounds crazy, but no, it's this is real. Google benzo withdrawals. And then you can check out, there's this website called like Benzo Buddies for people who have who are trying to, they literally have you wean off of Klonopin to go on to another drug, and then wean off of that drug in small doses. Once you completely become medicine free though, your body still goes through a phase of withdrawal symptoms where pretty much your brain is trying to reconnect these synapses so your wires are crossed. And we're talking about like crazy symptoms like I can't even describe all these, like body tremors, there's possibilities of seizures, just craziness. And like I said, Google it, research it for yourself. But the gist of what I'm trying to say is that in a matter of 15 minutes, if you tell your doctor you have anxiety, right, and you can't get over your anxiety, whatever the situation is, if you tell that and to your doctor, they will write you a prescription for this in a matter of 15 minutes. Not even ask you, have you gone to therapy? They definitely won't say, have you tried marijuana in the sense, or CBD oil. Even in people who don't like to smoke, CBD oil has the elements of THC, the benefits of marijuana without that actually being high. Have you tried that? Have you tried meditation? Have you tried so many things that you're supposed to try before you get to that medicine stage, and they don't do that. I think that's sad. And then we lead these people on a terrible road. And then, our healthcare system, if anything we're learning from this crisis right now, this pandemic, is that our healthcare system that we thought was so freaking amazing is trash. Like, completely trash. And that's not saying anything against healthcare workers. It's not their fault. It's the way our society has set up, and this is such a long rant, has set up our healthcare system to fail us, bro. To fail us and the healthcare workers. Capital F. Like, we're literally out here looking like a third world country, and we're supposed to be the United States of America. This is a disgrace. We could have a conversation as far as what it is that we're supposed to be doing all day long, but at the end of the day, we know, as of today, as of April 10th, 2020, United States healthcare system is trash, bro. Trash. No, it's not cutting it compared to what we should be at, like in America. And so we're setting people up to fail. We're writing these people prescriptions because these doctors getting kickbacks, these companies making billions and billions of dollars, and we don't care. We literally don't care that person is a human being. And I feel like Adam's touching on something that's so true, and I can't emphasize it enough. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop assuming about people and what it is that they're going through. And especially, I feel like as a black person in America, we do this a lot. Oh, they're white. Like, we do that a lot, bro. Let's not dehumanize people. Like, let's really not. These people have problems. All people have problems. And my thing is to treat everybody equally. You know what I'm saying? Let's approach everybody the same way we would want to be treated. I know that sounds happy-go-lucky or whatever, but I truly believe that. I want to treat the next person how I want to be treated. But at the same time, let's still continue to acknowledge the fact that certain people in America have been treated worse and have a certain amount of obstacles to overcome. And that's not saying that white people and white men in America don't have obstacles to overcome, because they do. That is not what I'm saying. But if we want to talk about generationally, African American people have been set up to fail in America from jump. Like, literally from Jump Street. And so let's continue to acknowledge that. Let's see what are ways that we can affect. I feel like we got to approach every community differently. Like, which ways, and this is not a racial thing. This is literally a community thing, where you live, like a neighborhood thing. What programs can we set up to help certain people, whether it's mental health, whether it's finances, whether it's education. Let's approach it all uniquely and stop having like a one-way, one-all approach. Oh, it's the American dream. Work hard, get there. Yes, work hard, get there. But what if it's harder for the average person to work hard, get there? I think that we should give them resources so that they could become successful, more successful. At bare minimum, they should have the resources. It's like, how do we expect people to do something that they don't even know how to do? How do we expect people to deal with mental health when they don't even know how to address the fact that they have a mental health problem? Like, is that not bizarre? Like, no? Like, oh, I could go on. This is definitely a rant. But this song has just sparked these thoughts and these ideas. And Because it's just like a lot of African American people don't even have the vocabulary. They be like, oh, such and such is crazy. Get over it. And I'm not even say African American. I say poor communities or communities that live in environments with the tint of lack of education. By education, I mean just pure knowledge, not necessarily all just you went to college, whatever. Just the education behind mental health and how it affects people. Maybe Adam grew up in that environment where it was just there was no vocabulary for and there was no word anxiety. It was you tripping, get over it, bro. Like there was no meditate. There was no how do you feel? Like there was none of these questions being asked, no answers given. It was just get over it. And I think that is wrong. White, black, Asian, Latina, gay, straight, whatever the situation is, that is wrong. And so thus, as I end my rant, I hope that we could fix it. That's the bottom line. I know I had so much to say in this. Let me know how you feel. And in the comments, we can have a discussion and a debate. This is just this is going to be a good one. I have a feeling this is going to be a good one. Hopefully Adam, he'll chime in. I'll send it to him. Maybe he'll chime in. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.